Hello friends, good evening. Let us start today's class. So as you all must already be knowing, we are not doing questions with these classes here as we would do questions together. Like once biodiversity is completed, we'll come do attempt 100 questions on biodiversity. Now, in previous class, we were covering mammals, and in mammals, we had covered the critically endangered and endangered mammals. Today, we'll be looking at vulnerable mammals. Then we'll look at some miscellaneous mammals which were neither critically endangered nor endangered nor vulnerable, but still were in news and are important. For example, something like black buck. Black buck is LC, least concern, but it is still important. So we have to study about black buck as well. Then we would move on to some marine mammals, some exceptional mammals, mammals which do not satisfy all the conditions of being a mammal. We would look at all those things. Now, this booklet, like every year when I cover this section of the syllabus, it generally gives you one or two questions. Here also, I'll explain you how from different sections over the last 4 or 5 years, different questions have been asked. Second, this booklet is also highly factual. Like a lot of facts are there, and you'll have to put in a lot of efforts to ensure that these facts are on tips for you, are easily remembered by you. So for that, like generally some students do this, they play this video twice, thrice, sunte rehte hain just to get overall idea about what sir was speaking, what were the important things. That is one way you can do it, but I generally prefer that you watch the video only once and then go through the notes and try to mark, highlight, put symbols in there to remember things. So those are certain things that you should keep in mind. So let us start with today's class. Vulnerable mammals में the first mammal that we want to study is the Great Indian One-Horned Rhino. Rhino. You must be knowing that rhino is a flagship species. For example, Kaziranga National Park में जाएंगे तो Kaziranga National Park is famous for rhino. The rhino is a flagship species for that. Now, rhino is also one of the largest terrestrial mammals. Like if we look at elephant, there are some species of elephant which are larger than this, but otherwise this is the largest. So in different sources, it is given as fourth largest or fifth largest land animal. So we must know that it is one of the largest land animal. Top 5 में कहीं आता है, इतना काफी है. Then there was a time when rhino was found throughout India, especially in the Indo-Gangetic plain, like from Uttar Pradesh to whole of West Bengal, and then in Northeast India, it was found. But by 1990s, its population was only reduced to 200. Now, why was it happening? It was mostly happening because of poaching and then habitat destruction. And poaching was happening because its horn is in demand in different parts of the world, especially in China. It's in a lot of demand. But since 1990s, when the population was reduced to 200, we have been able to increase its population to 3,000 now. I'm talking about the Indian species, Indian one-horned rhino. Its current population is around 3,000. In fact, only in Assam, the population is more than 2,500. According to 2018 census, the population was around 2,600. In Assam, there are a few protected areas. For example, Kaziranga, we already spoke about. Pobitoro Wildlife Sanctuary, Manas. These are some protected areas where you can see one-horned rhino. There are some other protected areas, for example, Orang Tiger Reserve or National Park. There also, over the last few years, we have seen the rhinos coming into play. Now, this we study every year, but rhino remains in news every year. And this year it was in news because the Vision 2020 came to an end. In 2005, India had launched Rhino Vision 2020. This Rhino Vision 2020 was launched by India, but launched by government of Assam, but a number of other institutions. For example, International Rhino Foundation, WWF, यहाँ पे वर्ल्ड वाइल्ड लाइफ वाला है, नॉट दी WWF वर्ल्ड रेसलिंग फाइट वाला नहीं, बोडोलैंड टेरिटोरियल काउंसिल, US Fish and Wildlife Services. So a number of these international organizations had come together in 2005 to launch Rhino Vision 2020. What was the goal? Goal was increase the number of rhino, increase the rhino population, make it go to 3,000. And second important goal was ensure that in Assam's 7 protected areas, rhinos are found. If rhinos remain restricted to only 2-3 protected areas, it would be at risk. We say no, area of occupancy should increase. It was needed for this reason because it was limited to 2-3 protected areas. Okay, so under this Rhino Vision 2020, one thing was once the rhino population becomes high in a particular protected area, let us transfer some rhino population, let us translocate some rhino population within Assam only to other protected areas. And therefore, it was an initiative of government of Assam. Now, this mission came to close in April 2021, very recently. It came to close. There was the transfer of 2 rhinos in the Assam's Manas National Park. And with this, they said that the Vision 2020 is complete. Over the years, from 2005 to 2020, there have been 8 rounds of rhino translocation. This 8th round was this, where these 2 rhinos were transferred to Manas. So Manas now have 22 rhinos from other protected areas. Now, has the target been achieved? So one target was increasing the rhino population to 3,000. That has been achieved. It is said that in 2018, the population was 2650. So now the population must have gone to somewhere around 3,000. That is true. But the plan to spread rhino population into 7 protected areas, that has not happened. It's there in around 4 protected areas. So Rhino Vision, I remember I have been teaching since 2017 और हर साल Rhino Vision करा रहे थे. Now Rhino Vision 2020 is completed. It completed in 2021 only, April 2021 only. It was in news for that reason. So you must know about rhino in general, Indian rhino in general, and then the Vision 2020. Now, why only Indian rhino? Let's talk about all the rhinos which are found in Asia. So there is one great one-horned rhino, the Indian rhino, which is vulnerable. But there are 2 more rhino species, Javan rhino and Sumatran rhino, which are critically endangered. I told you this in the last class also. When we were covering critically endangered, I made you write these 2 things. Some sources mention Javan rhino and Sumatran rhino also in the Indian list of critically endangered species. But they are not found in wild in India. Javan rhino or Sumatran rhino are not found in wild in India. Therefore, while talking about critically endangered, we didn't speak about it. So there are 3 rhino species: Javan rhino, Sumatran rhino, which are critically endangered, and great one-horned rhino, which is vulnerable, because we're studying vulnerable section wala, so it is vulnerable. In fact, there are some what is called rhino range countries, Asian rhino range countries, which includes the countries where rhinos are found presently. That's India, Nepal, Bhutan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and these countries form Asian rhino range countries. Okay, then this Asian rhino range countries meet sometime. So its second rhino range country meet was happened in New Delhi in 2019, and thus New Delhi Declaration on Asian Rhino came to exist from 2019. One of the key things that was agreed here was these countries will review the population of 3 Asian rhino species every 4 years. So every 4 years, we will revise or understand the population and thus take joint action to secure the population of rhinos in coming times. Okay, so this was all about rhinos that we need to study. I know we haven't covered Kaziranga, Manas National Park and all those things. Those we would cover when we'll be talking about protected areas. In our classes, there would be a section on national park, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, and so on. There we'll talk about those national parks in more detail. But here, about rhino, you must be knowing everything. One of the largest territorial species in India, mostly found in Assam. The protected areas where they are found, it is vulnerable. Then other rhino species, the Vision 2020, what happened to it? Was the target raised? One target was more or less reached, other was not. Then the New Delhi Declaration, और उसमें the Asian rhino range countries ने क्या target किया? Every 4 years we'll do assessment and then take joint action to improve the rhino situation in the world, in these rhino range countries, Asian rhino range countries. I hope this issue is clear. Okay, so now let's go to leopards. So before I go to leopard, there's some chat. Someone is saying something. Dimpy is saying booklet में fifth लिखा है. Yes, yes, Dimpy, booklet में fifth लिखा है. But I wanted to confirm it once. Then I saw कि कहीं पे fourth लिखा हुआ है, कहीं पे fifth लिखा हुआ है. So I thought, if there is no clarity, let's remove it, make it one of the largest. So what Dimpy is asking is that rhino, in booklet it has been written that it is the fifth largest terrestrial mammal, terrestrial animal, land animal. I'm saying some source also mention it as fourth. That's why when I fifth largest hatake in the class, I have changed it to one of the largest. Now come to leopards. See, I'm sorry. We will talk about 3 leopard species. And please note carefully that all 3 of them are vulnerable. All 3 of the leopard species are vulnerable. Usme the most common one and the most important one for us is the Indian leopard. It's found almost throughout the country. Throughout the country, you would not come fighting to me and say, "Sir, Delhi mein kahan milta hai, dikhao." Throughout the country, wherever jungles are there, except a few places. For example, you would see, I will explain. Desert area mein wo nahi milega. Rajasthan mein, if you'll go there, you'll not find. Even if the area could be called forest and all, you will not find leopard. So there are some areas where they are not found. Otherwise, they're found throughout the countries. They're widely distributed and have adaptable habitats. They can be found in different habitats. In Himalayas also, they are not found above timberline. Till timberline, till there is timber available, that is coniferous trees available, it is found. In fact, it is in sympatric relation with snow leopard. Not yesterday, in the previous class, when we were talking about speciation, how new species are formed, we spoke about allopatric and sympatric. Allopatric means there was a physical barrier because of which species were from one species, we ended up having 2 species. Over the years, they evolved differently because of this physical barrier, and they became 2 species. Then there was sympatric speciation. In the same geographical range, they exist, but still, eventually they evolved into 2 different species. This was sympatric speciation. So here we are saying in Himalayas, Indian leopard they are sympatric with snow leopard. Snow leopard is a different species. They are sympatric means they evolved from the same species. In the Himalayan region, you will find the snow leopard also and the Indian leopard also. In fact, they are so widely distributed, they are so adaptable. It is said that this is the largest population size of leopard outside Africa. Indian leopard ka population distribution and size, largest population size and range also, distribution also, outside Africa, leopard sabse zyada yahan mil rahe hain. Now, in some places where no other carnivorous animals are not available, for example, see, somewhere with this Indian leopard, you'll also find snow leopard. So there, it may not be an umbrella species, but somewhere you'll find leopard and tigers together. So there, this may not be an umbrella species, but in places where this is the only carnivore available or other large carnivores are not there, in those places, it is an umbrella species as well. What is umbrella species? You take care of their requirements of the whole ecosystem would be fulfilled. So for taking care of their requirement, you would need herbivorous plants and animals, then you will need plants. The whole ecosystem gets protected by taking care of them. These are umbrella species. So IUCN vulnerable, we are studying vulnerable. Wildlife Protection Act, it is in Schedule 1, CITES, it is Appendix 1. We have in the previous videos, we have seen this. Again, for those of you who are watching it on YouTube, please watch the first 2 videos. Even for those of you who are who are part of our class, please watch the first 2 videos before jumping onto this. Now, there was a leopard census that was done with tiger census. So generally what we do is, every time we do a tiger census, tiger and leopard habitation overlap at a lot of places. Leopard's habitation is actually much larger. बट जहां टाइगर मिल रहे हैं वहां पे भी लेपर्ड्स मिलने के चांसेस आर देयर. So when we do tiger census, parallelly with it, we also do leopard census. But we have to note something, that leopards are also found at other places. Leopards may be found in non-forested areas. Leopards may be found in coffee and tea plantation. Leopards may be found in higher reaches of Himalayas where tigers are not found. So the numbers that we are getting from tiger census of about leopard is the minimum number of leopard in each landscape. There may be more than these numbers. So according to this census, we have 12,852 leopards in the country. But again, use your common sense. We would have more than these number of leopards, because these leopards are those leopards which are in tiger range forests. नॉन टाइगर रेंज ओनली लेपर्ड रीजन का सेंसस नहीं हुआ है. The census was of tiger, parallelly census for leopard was also done. But when compared to 2014, see, in 2014 also there must have been a tiger census, so together we did leopard census also. So when compared to 2014, in 2018 we see a 60% rise. Except some places of northeastern region, the population has improved. Here in northeastern region, population is facing major threat because of various factors like agricultural expansion, tea gardens, and so on. Now, according to the census, which are the places, first, which are the states which have a highest number of leopards? The way we studied it for tigers, in the same way, we should also know it for leopards. This data was released in 2020. So you must know. So first thing is, highest number is in Madhya Pradesh. Where were highest number of tigers found? In Madhya Pradesh only. Here also, highest number of leopards are in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, UK. We do not have to remember this. This I have just created from the data which was available here. You would see in Madhya Pradesh, we have 3,421 number of tigers. In Karnataka, there are 1,700. The second highest is located here. Then इसी लिस्ट में से आप थर्ड हाईएस्ट भी निकाल लीजिए. थर्ड हाईएस्ट और वेयर? तमिलनाडु? नो, महाराष्ट्र, 1690. तो नो दिस, कर्नाटका, सॉरी, मध्य प्रदेश, कर्नाटका एंड महाराष्ट्र. नो दिस इज द ऑर्डर ऑफ इंडियन लेपर्ड्स कहां कहां मिल रहे हैं. Now, if you go region wise, like the way we had tiger ke region, different regions mein tigers were available and we counted there. There also you can see that central India and Eastern Ghats have highest number of leopards. Almost 2/3 of Indian leopards out of 13,000, 8,000 Indian leopards are found in central India and Eastern Ghats. It is followed by Western Ghats, 3386 leopard, then the Shivalik and Gangetic plains, and finally northeastern landscapes. Okay, so this is the data which has come for the first time. Like till last year, I had not covered this data because the data was not available till preliminary examination. So this is very important. Which is the state with highest number of leopard? They had asked a question on elephant last year. They may ask a question on tiger. They may ask a question on leopard. Which is the region with highest number of leopard? You must know all these things. Okay, now there's a demand that there should be a separate census. So you can understand the reason why there would be a demand for separate census. One key reason is leopards are found in much bigger region. So you must cover that much bigger region there, rather than just looking at tiger range countries. Second, mortality rate of leopard is much higher. So the mechanism which you use for tiger census should not be used for leopard census. There was another news which was saying that human leopard conflict is increasing in Karnataka. The main reason was population of leopard is going up and population of human beings is also going up. So they are getting more and more into the leopard areas. But this study which was published recently about increased number of conflicts, it says that government had come up with a policy to control human, government of India, to mitigate human leopard conflict, had come up with a policy guidelines. And after this policy guideline has come up, the leopard captured per month, number of leopards captured per month has increased almost 3 times. Similarly, number of leopards translocated per month have also increased. That is, human animal conflict has increased more rather than getting controlled. Okay, this was another study that was in news abhi recently. So I hope the first issue is clear to you. The first leopard that we were studying was Indian leopard. We will be studying 3 leopards. All 3 are vulnerable, but the first that we were studying was Indian leopard. Indian leopard is found throughout the country except Himalaya में timber के ऊपर वाला region, and in Rajasthan, the very arid region. Other than that, in general, we found leopard throughout the country. Now, let's talk about snow leopard. A study was published recently in May 2021. That is this month. By the way, we are environment, biodiversity, and climate change. We are updating everything till like something that happened yesterday. I have included even that thing in your notes here. So abhi 2 दिन पहले there was a news about for the first time in Australia, we have this Tasmanian devil breeding happening in forest region, in wild region. Even those things have been included in your notes. So these are properly updated ones. Now come back to snow leopard. The second leopard that we want to cover. In May 2021, a study was published about this thing. It says that 70% of snow leopard habitat are unexplored. That is, a lot of study is happening on snow leopards, but even now, 70% of its habitation is unexplored, clearly showing that it is difficult to access where they live. That's why we haven't been able to study it. There was another study which says that Himalaya ka jo high altitude hilly terrain hai, even there up to 73 leopards are found, though that is again something which is unreachable, inaccessible, and thus its survey is not done. There also these snow leopards are found. So first, what is snow leopard? Snow leopard एक इंडियन लेपर्ड से ही ओरिजिनेट हुआ है, a different species of leopard which the name snow would be found in colder region. So it is found in mountain ranges of Central and South Asia. Himalayas में at an height between 3000 to 4000 meter. See, 3000 to 4000 meter is very high. You'll find snow there. If you have gone to trek, the difficult treks like the Kedar Kantha and all, their peak is at 3500. So this roughly would tell you, if you have gone for treks and all, these are found in very difficult terrains. And that's why they're also called ghost of mountains. They're called ghost not only because of this reason कि बहुत difficulty से मिलते हैं, also because they do not try to interact with humans a lot. They remain hidden. In that sense, it's a flagship species for high altitude Himalayas, because in high altitude Himalayas, we do not find any other major charismatic animal. So this is the flagship species and also the umbrella species. We'll see that there's a project is there, Secured Himalayas. That Secured Himalaya project is mostly focusing on the needs of snow leopard. If the needs of snow leopards are fulfilled, the Himalayas get, the needs of the ecosystem of Himalayas get fulfilled. It's an indicator species. Again, if the population of snow leopard is increasing, it will indicate that things are good in Himalayas. But because they are reclusive, because they live in very difficult terrain, their population estimation is difficult. Now, where are they found? Mountain ranges of Central and South Asia. South Asia के mountain range तो Himalayan ranges की बात कर रहे हैं, Central Asia में. तो in India, Ladakh, Kashmir, Himachal, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. Ladakh, Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. Do not include Nepal, because Nepal में भी मिलते हैं, but Nepal is not India. Go there. Sikkim. Do not include Bhutan, and then Arunachal Pradesh. These are the places where snow leopard is found. Hemis is considered the snow leopard capital. See, last year a question was asked. Barasingha ka considerable population is located in which of the following national park? You would we were perhaps the only people who had done it. हमने बारासिंघा कान्हा नेशनल, बारासिंघा के बारे में 3 ही लाइन पढ़ी थी, उसमें से 1 line was it is found in Kanha National Park. So that is why sometimes you may wonder, why are we studying so many species? If by one class you are able to get one question also, in 50-60 classes of current affairs, 50 of target prelims, you will be able to get 50-60 booklets of target prelims, you will be able to get at least 50-60 questions. And that's why you should study these things carefully. Coming back to this, snow leopard capital किसे बोल रहे हैं? Hemis को बोल रहे हैं. There are 3 landscapes of leopard population in India. One is the Hemis Spiti, that is Ladakh, Himachal. Spiti Valley is in Himachal Pradesh, so Ladakh and Himachal Pradesh wala landscape. Other is Nanda Devi Gangotri, the Uttarakhand landscape, and then Kanchenjunga and Tawang, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh landscape. In this way, you would also know the places where snow leopard is found. Globally, it is found in 12 countries of South Asia and Central Asia. So, यहाँ देखो नेपाल में भी मिलेगा. Common sense है. If it's available in Uttarakhand, if it's available in Sikkim, it should be available in Nepal. Nepal, Bhutan, China, Mongolia, Russia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. In all these places, it is found. It is vulnerable. It is national heritage animal of Afghanistan and Pakistan. India's national heritage animal is elephant. We had covered it in the last class when we were doing elephant. Pakistan or Afghanistan ka national heritage animal is snow leopard. Key threats, the major threats which most of the animals are facing are habitat loss, fragmentation of habitation, human-animal conflict, and hostile habitat. So, in case of snow leopard, this becomes important because of hostile habitat. Their population traditionally has been low. Their population generally has never been very high. In case of other species, if they're living in evergreen jungles, their population may actually become very high, but this would not happen with snow leopard because बेचारे रहते ही वहां पे जहां पे there is very less food available, there is very less resources available. So it's an indicator species. That's why यहाँ पे हम good indicator species बता रहे हैं वो चीजें. Now to help snow leopard, to conserve snow leopard, preserve snow leopard population, various initiatives are there which have been launched over the last few years. Usme some initiatives are at the national level. So usme ek Secure Himalayas is there. I was telling you the name Secure Himalayas focused mostly on snow leopard. There are 4 snow leopard regions in India. So Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal, Uttarakhand, and Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh. It is currently operational in 4 snow leopard regions: J&K, Himachal, UK, and Sikkim. Okay, Ladakh or Arunachal इसने cover नहीं किया है. Idea is Secure Himalayas is for snow leopard. Know this. Okay, then there is a project Snow Leopard, which was launched way back in 2009. It is also following what is known as landscape level approach. Rather than only focusing on snow leopard, focus on the overall landscape. Because since it's an umbrella species, if the overall landscape improves, snow leopard population would be improving, and it is being implemented in J&K, Himachal. So उस time J&K and Ladakh अलग से नहीं बोला because Ladakh was part of J&K. So J&K, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh, the places where it is found. Recently, an initiative was launched called Himal Sangrakshak. Himal Sangrakshak. What is it? It's a community volunteer program where communities, people can volunteer to contribute towards snow leopard conservation. Okay, then it is also part of what is known as Species Recovery Program of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Now, what is the Species Recovery Program? Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change have identified 22 species in India, which they call critically endangered. Now, please note that this critically endangered is not IUCN's critically endangered. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change have identified 22 species which they consider critically endangered for species recovery program. Under this, for each of those species, for example, for snow leopard, there would be steps taken to preserve them. Till 2021, there were only 21 species here. 22 nahi hai, but in 2021, Caracal was added in this species recovery program. So now we have 22 species in here. But please note that leopard was already there, and snow leopard is one of the species under the species recovery program of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Then one more thing, factual thing about snow leopard that you should know is it's this thing, breeding program, conservation breeding program is being run in Padmaja Naidu Himalayan Zoological Park. Another fact about this, the effort which we are taking in India to protect snow leopard, that you must be aware of, that you must be knowing. Now, let's talk about international efforts. What are the international efforts to promote to protect snow leopard? So there is one International Snow Leopard Day, which is celebrated on 23rd October. In fact, it was on this day that all these things were announced. Himal Sanrakshan, that was announced in October 2020. Now, it was announced on 23rd October. Now, it is celebrated. So, it is commemorated on this day, in this particular day, because this day marks the adoption of Bishkek Declaration. Just there was a Pittsburgh Declaration for tigers, no. In the same way, there's a Bishkek Declaration by 12 countries of snow leopard range wali, which was made in 2013. On this day only, Global Snow Leopard and Ecosystem Protection Program was launched. Again, where was it launched? It was launched in the range wide. It's a range wide effort. That is, it was launched in all the snow leopard range countries. The key idea here is snow leopard countries should secure at least 20 snow leopard landscape across the snow leopards range by 2020. By 2020, we should have at least 20 snow leopard landscape. We should secure at least 20 snow leopard landscape. That is, 20 of these landscapes should be secured. Wahan pe conditions should improve. This was one of the key goals there. India is a member of GSLEP, Global Snow Leopard Ecosystem Protection Program. Since India mein snow leopards hai, India is one of the snow leopard range country. It's in 2019, fourth steering committee of GSLEP met, and in the New Delhi statement, they spoke about how they would further cooperate in terms of conserving snow leopard population. Okay, then we also have another report which was published very recently, over 100 years of snow leopard research. First line of the report, name में snow leopard research में 100 years हो गए हैं. Specially explicit review of the state of knowledge in the snow leopard range. So in snow leopard range में how much of knowledge is there, uska review is being done in this report. And according to this report, the snow leopard research has intensified since 1970s. But even then, only 4 hotspots of snow leopard research have emerged, which is only contributing to 23% of the snow leopard range. So proper research analysis is happening only in the 23% of the snow leopard range. That is 70% of the snow leopard research. Snow leopard range, usme research analysis study is not happening properly. Most of the study is being done in Nepal, India, and China, then some in Mongolia and Pakistan. Snow leopard research, why 70% or more area is not covered yet? It's not covered yet. You'll understand why. Because rugged terrain, difficult terrain, so its research is not happening. Okay, this was snow leopard. The third leopard species that we want to study is clouded leopard. See, leopard, the first one that we studied, found throughout the country except very arid region and the beyond timber region of Himalayas. Snow leopard, Himalayan range mein. Where is clouded leopard found? Clouded leopard mostly in Northeast India. Mostly in Northeast India. Why are they called clouded leopard? Because of the cloud shaped pattern on its skin. They also these clouded leopards are considered an evolutionary link between big cats and small cats. Okay, then habitation, rainforest dwellers, and mostly found in drier forest of Southeast Asia. इसमें Himalayan foothills of Southeast Asia and China are the places where they are found. In India में mostly in northeast, तो northern West Bengal, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. Vulnerable है, and it is also the state animal of Meghalaya. Now, recently a study was published on the clouded leopard habitat migration, etc. And there they say that only 9.4% of the studied region is highly suitable for clouded leopard. When the study also found that when closed canopy forest cover declined by just 35%, if closed canopy forest cover declined, the clouded leopard detection also dropped by 25%, indicating that clouded leopard population suffers in case the closed canopy forest cover or evergreen forest cover suffers. Then another fact that you should know about the clouded leopard is Dampa Tiger Reserve in Mizoram has one of the highest population densities of the clouded leopard. Okay, स्नो लेपर्ड का कैपिटल हेमिस हो गया, क्लाउडेड लेपर्ड का ये हो गया. In case of clouded leopard का मिजोरम हो गया. By this you should also remember that clouded leopard are mostly found in northeast India. So even West Bengal का northern part is more or less northeast India. Then so I hope a leopard is something that is properly understood by you. Now if you'll see a question on leopard, you should be like confident कि हाँ, this is something that we have studied more than anyone else. We would be able to answer these questions. Okay, now let me see the raised hands which are there or the chats which are there. First we have Ankit Narang is asking, sir, can you please clarify if foreign species gets naturalized in India, can they be called native species of that area? No, no, no. They'll not be called native species. But why are you asking this question here? देखो ये आखिरी में पूछ लिया करो. If it's related to the topic that we are studying, ask it right now. Else, ask if you have some other doubts, ask it at the end of the class. Okay, then Manita is asking, sir, total 20 landscapes or each country separately secure 20 landscape. Beta, each country cannot have 20 landscape. Na India में देखो 4 ही landscape थे. So each country cannot have 20 landscape. So total 20 landscapes. Okay. दिव्यांशु सिंह इज राइटिंग कि सर क्लाउडेड लेपर्ड इन असम, हाँ असम में भी मिल रहे. देखो मणिपुर, मिजोरम सब जगह मिल रहे, मेघालय में भी मिल रहे, तो असम में भी मिल रहे होंगे. बहुत सारे नहीं, बट मिल रहे होंगे. These were the doubts. Then there are raised hands. नीरज जी बताइए.
गुड इवनिंग सर.
गुड इवनिंग नीरज.
सर ये फ्लैगशिप स्पीसी और अम्ब्रेला स्पीसी से रिलेटेड डाउट है. जैसे कि मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था, डाउट था कि कोई भी फ्लैगशिप स्पीसी जो होता है, ठीक है, उसको अम्ब्रेला स्पीसी होने के लिए कंजर्वेशन करना प्री कंडीशन होता है क्या?
पहले ये बताओ, क्या फ्लैगशिप स्पीसी हमेशा अम्ब्रेला स्पीसी होता है?
वही मेरा डाउट.
तो वो कंजर्वेशन करना, उसमें क्यों जा रहे हो? Use your common sense. What is a flagship species? It's a species which is showcased because that is more attractive to people. That species more charismatic, right? It may or may not be umbrella species, right? Sometimes flagship species, Namdafa flying squirrel, but would Namdafa be umbrella species?
No.
No. तो कॉमन सेंस यूज करो थोड़ा. ठीक है, लेट्स गो टू नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. फिशिंग कैट. व्हाट आर फिशिंग कैट्स? तो देखो, लुक एट दिस कैट. इट लुक्स लाइक द कैट दैट वी हैव एट आवर होम्स, डोमेस्टिक कैट्स, बट इट्स एक्चुअली मच लार्जर. It's twice the size of household cats. This is fishing cats. Now, why are we calling it fishing cat? Because the food that it consumes, most of the food that it consumes is the fish. It catches fish from the coast of the river, bank of the river, from the banks of the lakes and all, and thus are called fishing cats. they were news very recently. First ever survey on fishing cats was held in Chilika Lake, was started in Chilika Lake in March 2021. Very recently it was in news. Okay, so first fishing cat is vulnerable. हम उसे vulnerable वाले list में पढ़ रहे हैं. तो just remember it like this. 3 leopards. The 3 leopards were vulnerable. Rhino vulnerable. 3 leopards were vulnerable. और उनके जैसा ही है fishing cat. Leopard is also not very huge. Cat is small. उनके बीच में आ रहा है. It's coming in between them in terms of size. तो it is fishing cat. Now where would it be found? जहां पे fish मिल रही होंगी. So you would see that it is found in marshy wetlands of northern and eastern India. Northern India, तो उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, इसमें जो wetlands होंगे, और राजस्थान, उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, in these regions, and then the eastern India, West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, these would be some of the places where it would be found. So you would see that they're found in Sundarbans of India and Bangladesh, Chilika Lake, and surrounding wetlands of Odisha, Koringa and Krishna mangroves in Andhra Pradesh. So these are the ईस्टर्न इंडिया वाला पार्ट हो गया. नॉर्दर्न इंडिया में आओगे तो आप रणथंबोर टाइगर रिजर्व, पीलीभीत, दुधवा, वाल्मीकि टाइगर रिजर्व, सुर सरोवर बर्ड सैंक्चुरी. दीज आर सम ऑफ द प्लेसेस इन नॉर्दर्न इंडिया where they are found. They are generally observed while hunting along the edges of water bodies, grabbing prey from the water or diving in to catch prey further from the banks. तो catfish, दिमाग में ये चीजें ले आना. कॉमन सेंस से यू विल बी एबल टू अटेम्प्ट द क्वेश्चन. चिलिका लेक में इसका पहला सर्वे was held in March 2021 and that's why it was in news. Now vulnerable हमने पढ़ ही लिया. In sites it is in appendix 2. So it's too much detail, but still if you can remember it, all well and good. If you don't remember it, just read it once and ignore it. So what is this survey? It started on 1st of March. It is being done by Chilika Development Authority and Fishing Cat Conservation Alliance. What is Fishing Cat Conservation Alliance? It's an NGO where there are a number of experts, specialists from all over the world are included. So Chilika Development Authority and these two bodies have come together to do this survey. Now we also have a fishing cat project which was launched by the same Chilika Development Authority in 2010 in collaboration with this NGO, FCCA, Fishing Cat Conservation Alliance. The core of this survey was spreading awareness among local people about this fishing cat. See, sometimes what was happening was when they used to see this fishing cat, they used to assume that it is a small leopard, it's a small tiger. And that used to become a problem. Because of that, they used to hunt or kill this animal. And that's why there was need of this awareness fishing cat project by Chilika Development Authority. In 2012, West Bengal had declared this as the state animal and had dedicated 2 big enclosures in Kolkata Zoo for them. Major threat वही है habitat loss. जैसे wetland degradation हो रहा है, they are suffering. Then sand mining along river banks or agriculture intensification are some issues. Here again we have talked about what is Fishing Cat Conservation Alliance. Fine. FCCA, which is collaborating with CDA to do this survey. What is it? So it is a NGO which has a team of conservationists, researchers, enthusiasts from across the world who are working towards protection of fishing cat and all species which share a common home. This was fishing cat. So when you are studying it, also keep on making a picture. It will simplify your process of remembering this. So fishing cats, northern India ke wetlands mein, and the East India, mangroves and Chilika and all those places mein, you'll finding fishing cats. CDA and FCCA doing a survey in March 2021, the reason for which it was in news. Now, Himalayan Sero. Himalayan Sero was also in news because in Himachal's cold desert region, it was seen for the first time. So generally, it doesn't go beyond 4,000 meters height, but it was seen for the first time in Himachal cold desert region. Similarly, in March 2021, Himalayan Sero was found in Assam. for the first time. The first Himalayan sero spotted in Assam in March 2021. What is it? We do not get into the physical description and all. Just look at this image to understand what Himalayan sero is. It's a mammal. थोड़ा हमारे लिए like goat and वैसा दिखने वाला है. Just remember this. That should be enough. There are several species of seros all over India. The Himalayan sero is only restricted to Himalayan region. It's mostly found here in 2000 meters to 4000 meter range. तो ये ईस्टर्न, सेंट्रल एंड वेस्टर्न हिमालयस सब में मिल रहा है, बट नॉट इन द ट्रांस हिमालयन रीजन. ओके, इट्स अ सब स्पीसी ऑफ मेनलैंड सेरो. तो जंगलों में, हमारे जंगलों में नॉर्मल मेनलैंड में भी सेरो मिलता है. इट्स अ सब स्पीसी ऑफ दैट. नाउ हिमाचल के स्पीति वाले में मिलना वाज अ सरप्राइज बिकॉज this Spiti lies with an average elevation of 4270 meter, whereas its range is 2000 to 4000 meters. So it may have strayed there. There may have been some reason, but it was not spotted in Spiti Valley manually by humans. Earlier, they were only known through camera and trapping and all in Himachal. तो पहली बार किसी ने इसे देखा है. Then sighting in Assam actually perhaps tells us that situation in Assam is improving. They were sighted in Manas Tiger Reserve. So it is kind of indicating that the tiger reserve situation is improving and the herbivorous animals from other parts may also be migrating there. So Himalayan sero Himalayan region में है, vulnerable है, generally 2000 to 4000 meter वाले range में मिलता है. And recently Himachal में Spiti Valley में it was spotted for the first time, and in Assam in the Manas Tiger Reserve of Assam it was spotted for the first time. Manas Tiger Reserve is close to the Bhutan border. You already know that. So Bhutan में Royal Manas है. तो you'd see that it was also spotted close to border of Bhutan in Manas Banswari Mathanguri forest. Okay, now गौर और इंडियन बाइसन. और आई जनरली टेल कि आपने वो मूवी जो देखी है, कौन सी मूवी? बाहुबली. बाहुबली में जो उससे लड़ रहा होता है 10 पीसी देयर. नाउ इट वाज इन न्यूज बिकॉज फर्स्ट पॉपुलेशन एस्टिमेशन ऑफ गौर इन नीलगिरी फॉरेस्ट रिजर्व was conducted in February 2020, and its data was revealed in June 2020, where it was said that more than 2000 Indian gaurs are found in Nilgiri region. तो एक और चीज वैसे सोचना कि बाहुबली was a movie which was देखो by if you'll go by geography ना, it was full of flaws, but ऐसे remember करो it was a movie which was made in South India. तो दिस गौर, इसका एक बड़ा हैबिटेट नीलगिरी रीजन है, वैसे याद रखो. अदरवाइज मूवी वाज फुल ऑफ फ्लॉज इन द सेंस कि वो बर्फ वाली जगह भी दिखा रहे थे एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स वर शोन इन द मूवी व्हिच इज नॉट फीजिबल देयर. देन बर्फ वाली जगह दिखा रहे, बट वहां पे जो कपड़े पहना रखे हैं लोगों को, दिस इट वाज ऑल फनी देयर. तो देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ फ्लॉज देयर, बट it was a movie that was made in South India, and this gaur, a major population of it is in Nilgiri. The survey was done in Nilgiri, for which it was in news. Itna portion yaad rakhna hai. Now some more details. It is native to South and Southeast Asia. It is the biggest among wild cattle. Cow and all those things are cattle. So when we talk about wild cattle, this gaur is the biggest. Where is it found? Evergreen and semi-evergreen and moist deciduous forest. So Nilgiri mein we have evergreen and semi-evergreen forests. Now, this survey, more than 2000 in Nilgiri forest division, majority of them live very close to human habitation and thus may be facing a lot of threats too. So gaur, a vulnerable species, please remember it, please know it. Now, ये लोग अनम्यूट क्यों करते हैं? फोर हॉर्न्ड एंटीलोप, ज्यादा कुछ नहीं है. फोर हॉर्न्ड एंटीलोप. Where is it found? Open forests of India and Nepal. It is the only species of Tetracerus genus that is known. Now, if you look at the image, it's a female. Because जो मेल होते हैं ना, उनके 4 सींग होते हैं. That's why we are calling them four-horned antelope. They have the males have 4 permanent horns. Okay, they open forest of India and Nepal में मिल रहे हैं, and they are vulnerable, they are at risk because of natural habitat being destroyed, agricultural land being expanded. Further, there's a concern with four-horned antelope. It should drink water regularly to survive. And thus it should be living somewhere near a water source. Then Nilgiri marten. This is the only species of marten which is found in South India. It was in news recently. I think in August 2020, some videos went viral in social media. Generally, they are very, very elusive species. Very elusive. इन्हें देख पाना मुश्किल होता है. तो in some plantation, a video of Nilgiri marten had gone public, and look at this species. Generally, you would not see this kind of animal. It's like a cat, but of size-wise, it's like a cat, but has very peculiar color and all. So it became very popular. That video had become very popular. हमारे लिए social media पे popular हुआ था. That's not important. What is important is Nilgiri marten. Only species of marten found in Nilgiri area. It is endemic to Western Ghats. That is, it is not found anywhere beyond Western Ghats, and inhabit areas that are far from human disturbance. And that's why it's very difficult to see. And therefore, the videos becoming popular because it's difficult to see. Now, threat, habitat loss, and fragmentation. But another threat is hunting for fur. So if you'll remember the image of Nilgiri marten, you'll understand that its fur may be important. And it is hunted for that reason also. Nilgiri langur, something similar. It is endemic to Western Ghats. It's found in Western Ghats of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, in the tropical wet evergreen and riparian forest. Problems kya hai? Habitat destruction and poaching. Poaching again for its fur and also for its flesh. Its flesh is considered aphrodisiac in nature. Then there is Barasingha or swamp deer. Barasingha and swamp deer occur in Kanha National Park of Madhya Pradesh, 2 localities of Assam, and other 6 localities of Uttar Pradesh. ठीक है, last year question में आया था, considerable Barasingha population is found in which of the following, and option A was Kanha National Park. And I'll promise you this, no one else would have taught you this. कि Barasingha Kanha National Park में मिलता है in current affairs program. In static books it may be there, but in current affairs program no one would have done it, and it was not in news. Even this year it is not in news. But see how till last year you may have considered how obsolete species is this. Why is sir covering it? But UPSC asked a question related to it. It's vulnerable. You must know some things about where it is found. So it's found in Kanha National Park. This is something, if you had known this, you would have scored 2 marks extra in the last year's examination. Now, otters. There are 2 otters. In India, there are 3 otters found. Usme se 2 are oriental small clawed otter and smooth coated otter. What are these small clawed otter and smooth coated otters? Look at this image. These are otters. Small clawed otter, इनके जो claws होंगे, they would be small. In fact, this whole otter is small. This is the smallest otter species in the world. Where would they be found? Look at both the images. पानी के पास मिल रहे हैं. They're found in mangrove swamp or freshwater wetlands of Bangladesh, Burma, India, South China, and Southeast Asia. And wetland degradation is leading to major problem that it is facing. Further, these furs, especially in case of smooth coated otter. Its fur is very smooth, and that is in demand a lot. Because of this, it is hunted. These are some major problems these are facing. In 2019, these were in news. For last year's exam, it was very important because in CITES, it was moved from Appendix 2 to Appendix 1. Thus, Appendix 1, more protection, more restriction on international trade. So both of them are in CITES Appendix 2. Oh, Appendix 1 now. Earlier they were in Appendix 2. Now they're in Appendix 1. Both of them are vulnerable. There's one more otter species that is found in India. That is Eurasian otter. And it is near threatened. We're talking about vulnerable only. So that's why we haven't gone into the details of that. But it is near threatened, Eurasian otter. Okay. So like when we are studying in a systematic manner, no, it would be easy for you to remember. Achha, two of the otters, small clawed otter, smooth coated otter, were vulnerable, and this one, Eurasian otter, is near threatened. Black panther, actually, black panther करके ना कोई separate species है नहीं. In India or in Asia or Africa, leopard which is having melanistic color variant, leopard's melanistic color variant is called panther. Whereas in American continent, jaguar's black color variant is called panther. Okay, so what will be the status, conservation status? Vulnerable. Leopard in India, all leopards in India are vulnerable. So jaguar by default, black panther by default would be vulnerable. So India mein Odisha to Kerala, we find black panther. Then there are two bhalu species, bear species, Asian black bear, or it's also called moon bear or white-chested bear because of this. Now, bear you must be knowing, India mein jungalo mein mostly they are common thing, but more common is Indian sloth bear. You watched Mowgli. Mowgli mein jo bear depicted hai na, the bear who doesn't want to work, who wants others to work, that is sloth bear. And it is the most common type of bear that we have. It feeds on termites, honeybee colony, and fruits. It is also the most widespread bear species in India. It mostly occurs in areas with forest cover, low hill bordering outer ranges of Himalayas from Punjab to Arunachal Pradesh. It's absent in high mountains of Himachal and Jammu and Kashmir. Now, some more threats kya face kar raha hoga? Habitat loss would be one, poaching would be another. It was this bear which was earlier used for it was the Asian black bear which was used by the bear players, like people who used to come and play with them. No, क्या बोलते हैं उन्हें, भालू वाले लोग आते थे बचपन में. They used to use this bear. Now, this particular Indian sloth bear, no, it is more inclined to attack man unprovoked than almost any other animal. And therefore, wherever they are found, humans may be in danger because unprovoked way maybe it can attack, and generally its attack is fatal in nature. So the two bear species are also vulnerable. So see, slowly we have covered 15 vulnerable species. There are lots of other vulnerable species in India, but even this is like more than enough. I did not want to add more species which may have unnecessarily increased the size of the content or notes that you are studying. Now let's move on to near threatened mammals. So before I go to near threatened, let me see if there are doubts, if there are any doubts. Mahesh Narayankar is asking, Indian leopard highest population, which national park? Any idea? No, I do not have an idea. Pragya is saying, sir, do we need to remember scientific names of these animals as well? No. Pragya, you do not have to. Generally, even in exam, they have asked common name only. They haven't asked scientific name. But again, it's UPSC. I do not know what they would do. For now, I'm saying you do not have to remember scientific name. This is something that has not been asked in the examination yet. Let's go to near threatened system. Just give me 1 second. Near threatened mammals. So see, critically endangered, endangered, vulnerable. These are what? Threatened group. Remember, हमने IUCN का group किया था, critically endangered, endangered, and vulnerable. These are threatened to extinction. Then comes near threatened. It is almost threatened, not completely threatened yet, but almost threatened. Then comes least concerned, LC. Least concerned would not be threatened one. So in near threatened, the first species that we want to study is Asian wild ass or khur, or locally in Gujarat it's also called khudkar. What is this khudkar? It's a gadha which is only left in Kutch region, run of Kutch. There's an Indian wild ass sanctuary. It's only found there. Earlier, it was found in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Southeastern Iran. तो उस पूरे region में मिलता था. But now it's only left in Indian wild ass sanctuary in Kutch. Earlier, till 2016, it was endangered, but now it's near threatened. Its population has increased, but it's still under Wildlife Protection Act has highest protection. One reason its population had went down were diseases. In 1950s and 1960s, it suffered from Sura disease and then South African horse sickness. But in recent years, the major threat it is facing is habitat degradation due to salt activities. Run of Kutch में बहुत सारा salt produce होता है. In fact, there are people there who are called salt farmers. वो run of Kutch region में जाके salt extract करते हैं. So their habitat degradation occurs. Then another issue is Proposis juliflora. It's an invasive plant species. It's an invasive plant species which is very stubborn. Stubborn in the sense, wherever it goes, it consumes most of the resources in the it will extract most of the water and so on. But this is not eatable. It has thorns and all those things, so animals cannot consume it, animal cannot eat it. So what it actually results into is Proposis juliflora is consuming all the water and is not allowing other vegetation to grow, but at the same time, this cannot be eaten by animals. So it degrades, it expands in the coverage, but degrades the whole system. This is Proposis juliflora, an invasive species in India. See, the question on invasive species on Proposis juliflora was asked in 2018 preliminary examination. Simple. A question was Proposis juliflora is associated with which of the following, or एक option था biodiversity. The question on wild ass has also been asked. The question on run of Indian wild ass sanctuary has also been asked. Then another reason for another threat that they're facing is the Maldhari tribes. The question related to Maldhari tribes may be Maldhari tribes are found in run of Kutch. They're pastoral tribes, and thus they have animals. They have domesticated animals who use grazing ground. And this grazing ground leads to reduction in grazing ground being available for wild ass. Then sometimes from Sardar Sarovar Dam, unplanned release of water takes place, which impacts the short grasslands and thus hampers the wild ass population. And finally, human wildlife conflict is becoming a concern. 1/3 of the wild ass population lives outside the protected area, outside this Indian wild ass sanctuary. And thus the chance of human wildlife conflict is very high. But this is now near threatened. Asian wild ass khur is near threatened. Please carefully remember this. Please carefully note this. Okay, then another near threatened species is chiru, or Tibetan antelope. Now, the name Tibetan antelope tells you that it is native to Tibetan plateau. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, it is native to Tibetan plateau. In India, it's found in, so its habitat is Tibet cold desert. So cold desert type of region it would be found. So Ladakh region it is found. Then in places like Himachal Pradesh bordering Tibet, Sikkim and Nepal also it is found. It's mostly famous for its warm wool, soft and warm wool called shatush. Shatush is one of the most expensive wool types that you would have. Further, it is also hunted for its horns. Look at its horns. These are quite magnificent, and it used to be hunted for this. And then meat to hai hi. There are bhukkad people like me, जिन्हें किसी का भी मीट पसंद आ जाता है. So that is another reason because of which it was hunted. No, see, please understand that I may be joking here, bhukkad people like me, but for people who live in that region, for whom availability of food and all those things may be a concern, for them, killing an animal and eating it, which they had been traditionally doing, ending that would be a challenge. They would not understand that Wildlife Protection Act में Schedule 1 में आ रहा है and will go into jail for long periods. Now, some things about it we should know. See, Shatush is an important wool type, but because the species is under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act, it has been given highest degree of protection. This law also says that trade of its parts and products, including the shawls which are made out of Shatush wool or Chiru wool, is prohibited. Okay, so in 2017, Parliamentary Panel on Environment, Forest and Climate Change said, why don't we do this? Inka breeding karwaएं, and then we make this available to people who can do animal husbandry with them and extract Shatush wool. Because it's expensive, people would not be killing them. They would mostly be using them for extracting Shatush wool, and thus their population may increase. This is happening in China. But Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in 2018 refused to allow captive breeding because they said that examples from China shows that there is poor survival rate in captivity of Chiru. So Chiru is also near threatened, but Wildlife Protection Act में it is highly protected. Shatush wool comes from it. Its home is Tibet. तो जो Tibet जैसे environment जहाँ पे होगा, Tibet cold desert जैसा environment जहाँ पे होगा, Ladakh region और Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Nepal, these are some places where it would be found. Asiatic golden cat. Asiatic golden cat was not in news in 2020. It was in news in 2019, but because something huge had happened in 2019 related to it, we are covering it. Even older things, if they are very relevant, we would be covering it. So it's a medium-sized cat that is found in northeastern Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. Northeast Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. तो Southeast Asia में तो Northeast Indian subcontinent की बात कर रहे हैं तो उसमें assume कि Nepal and Bangladesh is also there because Nepal is very near to that place, northeastern region. Bangladesh is also very near to the northeastern region. Now, it was in news because in 2019, 6 color morphs of the golden cat was found in a small region only. So generally, these many color morphs of one species within one region is not found. There is no other place on earth which has so many colors of wild cats of the same species. They are all found in Northeast India only. So for that reason, it was in news. Further, another thing that you must know about is these animals are considered very sacred by some communities. There is one Idu Mishmi community. इसमें से जो black वाला dark pigmentation वाला version है ना, it is considered very sacred for them. They believe that they possess great powers, and thus there's a strict taboo on hunting of this cat, this Asiatic golden cat. The name is Asiatic golden cat, but it has various color morphs which are available. Okay, now Markhor. Markhor is another of what you call near threatened species. Markhor के बारे में remember something. This is national animal of Pakistan. Earlier, it was hunted for its meat, but also for its twisted horns. If I increase the size here, you'll be able to see these twisted horns. For this reason, it was hunted. So it was an endangered list. Only in 2015, it was moved to near threatened after its population increased. Now, in India, overall, it's found in Afghanistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. In India, it's found in Jammu and Kashmir, and there are some other parts of the world, South Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. So generally, assume karo Pakistan ka region, Pakistan ke neighboring, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, उसके neighboring region में markhor is found, which is a near threatened species. Now we'll come to other mammals which were in news. First, bat. So you must be knowing this, that bat is the only flying mammal that we know of. Bat is a mammal. Like the key features of mammal, you must be knowing that mammals generally give live birth. Then most important feature is they nurse their kids, their children. Nurse their children means they have mammary glands through which they produce milk and feed their children. These are some of the key features of mammals. So it has all those features. It gives live birth rather than giving eggs. It nurses their children, but it is flying. So this is the only flying mammal. Bats are the only flying mammals that we know of. Now, in April 2021, a bat species, Eudiscopus denticulus, was found in India. It's found in other parts of the world, but it was not found in India. So with this finding of this disc-footed bat, total number of bat species in India have become 130. In India, now we have 130 bat species. This is clear? This is understood? Now, what is so special about this Eudiscopus denticulus disc-footed bat? What is so special about it? First, it's a very specialized small bat. Why is it specialized? Because it has these sticky discs. इसे वैसे समझिए that if you look at bamboo trees, you must be knowing that bamboos are very smooth. So if there are bats which are living on bamboos, they must have a mechanism to stick to bamboos, else they'll fall down. So this is a bat species which has evolved to live on bamboos, and thus these are the first true bamboo dwelling bats which have been found in India. It was recorded in Meghalaya's Lailad area near the Nong Khailem Wildlife Sanctuary. It was discovered there. Earlier, it was known only from Myanmar, which was around 1,000 kilometers west of it. So for the first time, we have found this species here. Now, in India, we have a couple of other bamboo dwelling bats, but they are not as adapted to bamboo dwelling as this disc-footed bat. And therefore, we are saying that this is the first bamboo dwelling bat with sticky discs which are found in India. So with this, total number of species in India is 130. Total number of bat species in Meghalaya is 66. It was in news in April 2021 only. Now let's go to another species that was in news, caracal. Another mammal species that was in news, caracal. What is this caracal thing? Just a second. I don't know what just, yeah. Caracal. I just told you while studying the leopard thing, I told you that Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change का species program है, recovery program है, where it has identified 21 species for recovery. उसमें 22nd species caracal was added in February 2021. So now under species recovery program of Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, there are 22 species. The latest species to be added there was caracal. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change says that there are 22 critically endangered species in that list, but please note that critically endangered is not IUCN's critically endangered. IUCN's critically endangered thing is something else. Okay, now, what is it? It's a medium-sized wild cat. Look at it. It's exactly like very similar to the cats that we have. So it's a medium-sized wild cat. In India, it's only found in 2 states, Gujarat and Rajasthan. They're found in marshy areas of Kutch district, higher areas closer to Kalo Dungar with grassy scrubland, and in Savai Madhopur, Karoli, and Dholpur districts of Rajasthan. They have very large numbers in Africa, but in India, they have very few numbers, very small numbers. They are characterized by coat which is uniformly reddish, tan, or sandish in color. It is least concerned as per IUCN. WPA में it is in scheduled 1. Then जो habitat loss वाला issue आपको पता ही है कि in general all the animals face this issue. Most important is their addition in species recovery program. Till now we had 21 species under the species recovery program. This has become 22nd species. Caracal has become 22nd species. Now this caracal actually also is very important from historical perspective. जैसे हिंदू में जो explain page था, it was one of the heading was the favorites of royals. So it was favorite of kings who used to go for hunting, as they were very good at coursing or hunting of animals. So it was kept as pets by kings, and it went for hunting themselves. So that perspective also about this caracal should be known to you. Now black buck or antelope. ये भाई वाला black buck है. Kala hiran which bhai had killed. Or I do not know had killed or not. Court would decide that. Okay, recently Odisha's black buck population has doubled in 6 years. This news was there in May 2021. This month only. Odisha's black buck population has doubled in 6 years. So what is black buck? It's an Indian antelope found only in the Indian subcontinent, that is Nepal, Pakistan, and India. Now, in India, it's found in Punjab, Haryana in north to Tamil Nadu in the south. So basically, Punjab, Haryana से Tamil Nadu पूरे में, Rajasthan, Gujarat से Odisha तक पूरे में. Almost whole of the country it is found, but it's not found in vast herds anywhere. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक जगह पे आपको 1000-2000 black bucks मिल रहे होंगे. In IUCN it is least concerned, but under Wildlife Protection Act it is in Schedule 1. So if you hunt it in Rajasthan, if you go for its hunting, then you go to jail. It also shows what is known as sexual dimorphism. This is the female and this is the male. So generally in all living organisms, what we'll see is males are more colorful. It is males who have to seduce the female for mating. But in human beings, हमने उल्टा कर दिया है. Females tend to wear more colorful clothes. अगर males colorful clothes पहनने लगते हैं तो हम उन्हें embarrass, harass करने लगते हैं. Now distribution. I told you Rajasthan, Gujarat to नीरज की हंसी नहीं रुक रही है, मुंह बंद करके हंस रहा है. Rajasthan, Gujarat to Odisha, everywhere from Punjab, Haryana to Tamil Nadu. It's found throughout the country. There are some famous protected areas for it. Black Buck National Park in Gujarat. It is in Velvadar in Bhavnagar district. Here, highest numbers of black buck are found. Then other important points, other important areas are where black bucks are found are Point Calimere Wildlife and Bird Sanctuary, Thal Sapar Sanctuary in Rajasthan, National Chambal Sanctuary at Tri Point of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Keoladev National Park in Bharatpur, Rajasthan, Rehekudi Black Buck Sanctuary in Ahmednagar district, Rani Bennur Black Buck Sanctuary in Haveri district of Karnataka, Guindai National Park in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. So number of places are there where they are found. I'm not sure if Salman Khan was hunting it here in Bharatpur, because I think he was shooting for that movie Hum Saath Saath Hain. At that time, this hunting had taken place. It was shot in Rajasthan, so perhaps it may have happened somewhere here. So please note that an animal can be least concern. It may not need to be critically endangered, vulnerable to be highly protected in India. In India, in spite of it being least concern, it is in Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1. Okay, now threats, poaching, habitat destruction, ये सब चीजें आपको समझ में आ जाएंगी. Then a new menace that has come into play is free-ranging village dogs, which roam all over India, killing black buck. Now, actually, there are a few more things. I don't know why I have missed them. There are a few groups, few communities. For example, Bishnois of Rajasthan, Haryana, and some parts of there may be some Bishnois in southern Punjab also. They consider black bucks sacred and thus play a very important role in their conservation. The community, Bishnoi community, plays an important role. ऐसे ही there's a Rajput community in Gujarat. For them also this is sacred. Recently, the survey in Odisha shows that the population there has increased, has doubled in last 6 years. The total numbers of 7,358 has been found in Odisha. Of them, 4,196 are females and 1,712 are males. Again, one thing that you would note while studying biodiversity, in nature there are more females and less males. Only in human beings we are reversing the trend. We need more females than males in nature as such. Okay, then in Odisha, black buck is only found in southern part of the state, only in Ganjam district. It is not found at other places. Here also, people play a very important role. There is Bishnoi of Western Rajasthan, Wala Rajput of Saurashtra or Gujarat. These are some people in Rajasthan, Gujarat who consider this as sacred and protect them. In the same way, in Odisha, in this region, the black buck is called Krishna Sar Mrig. And the people of Ganjam believe that the sighting of black buck in paddy field is harbinger of good luck for them. And that is why even when this Krishna Sar Mrig, देखो Krishna is black, Mrig is Hiran. तो black buck को ये Krishna Sar Mrig बोल रहे हैं. So in these regions, even if the black buck enters the paddy fields, they do not disturb them. They do not harm them because it is considered harbinger of luck for them. So it is in Odisha. It's found only in southern part of Odisha, only in Ganjam district, where its population has doubled in last few years. Okay, so this is least concern. Black buck is least concern. Then Himalayan ibex. Himalayan ibex was in news in March 2020 because till 2020 it was believed that Himalayan ibex is Siberian ibex का एक subspecies. But a study by Zoological Survey of India says that by their genetic analysis they have found that Himalayan ibex is genetically different from all other ranges of Siberian ibex, and thus it should be considered a different species. It has yet not been declared a different species. It is a scientific study. So scientists do not do this declaration. Authorities do this declaration. So for now, Himalayan ibex we study as part of Siberian ibex only, and for now it is least concerned. So Siberian ibex, Siberia kind of region में मिल रहा है. So it is found in Mongolia to Altai, Hangai, Gobi Altai, Huruk Mountain, Sayan Mountains near Russia. The very cold places में it is found. In India, it's found in trans-Himalayan ranges of Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal, and so on. Then Pashmina goat. अभी हमने शातूश wool देखा था. Now Pashmina wool. It's a special breed of goat which is indigenous to Ladakh in Jammu and Kashmir. So now Ladakh in Jammu and Kashmir nahi hoga, I'm sorry. Now it will be Ladakh in Ladakh. Ladakh is a separate union territory. So it's a species, it's a type of goat, it's a breed of goat which is indigenous to Ladakh, which produces the ultra fine Pashmina wool or ultra fine Kashmiri wool. This goat is domesticated by the community Changpa in the region called Changtang. In this region, a lot of people depend on these goats only and this wool only. There are 2,400 families in this region and 2.5 lakh goats are there. Thus, they survive through this. So, Ladakh produces around 50 million tons of finest grade Pashmina in the world. In 2019, BIS certification for Pashmina was done. So earlier, what used to happen without any certification and all, any random kind of wool was sold as Pashmina wool. But now that's not the case. Now BIS certification has happened. So this would discourage counterfeit or substandard products. Not every wool would have BIS certification. This would also ensure better prices for goat herding community as well as for local handlooms from the sale of this particular wool. So this is also least concern, not a big issue. But Pashmina goat, sometimes people confuse between Chatus and Pashmina. Chatus is from Chiru, Tibetan antelope. Pashmina is from a breed of goat from the Ladakh region. We have to be very careful about it. Now, marine mammals. So far, we had seen mammals which were living on land, mostly living on land. Now, there are some mammals which are living in water. So, usme first thing is Project Dolphin. The dolphins is something that we're going to study. Dolphins are found in oceans as well as in rivers. So these are marine mammals. Dolphins are mammals. In the same way, whales are also mammals. Okay, so dolphins is something that we first want to study. So उसमें एक है Project Dolphin. You remember Project Elephant, Project Tiger? Project Tiger is going on since 1970s. Project Elephant is going on since 1990s. Project Lion was announced by Prime Minister in the Independence Day speech. He did not only announce Project Lion, he also announced Project Dolphin in his Independence Day speech. So on the lines of Project Tiger and Project Elephant, Project Lion and Project Dolphin was announced. Now, in principle, approval for a project like this was given earlier only, in December 2019 only. But Prime Minister के पास एक और announcement करने का मौका था, तो इन्होंने दोबारा से announce कर दिया Project Dolphin. Now, please note that this Project Dolphin is for the protection of not only the river dolphins. It is saving both river and marine dolphins. So first, let us study about freshwater dolphins or river dolphins. Now, freshwater dolphins, river dolphins have been in news for a number of reasons. First, in December 2020, IUCN's update took place in December 2020. There, IUCN has now declared all 7 freshwater dolphins as threatened. Threatened matlab ya to critically endangered or vulnerable. Earlier, there was a species of freshwater dolphin which was data deficient, because data was not available. But now, all freshwater dolphins, all 7 freshwater dolphins found across the world are threatened. That is, they're either critically endangered or vulnerable. Further, there was another news in April 2021. Studies have found that Indus River dolphin and Ganges River dolphin may be 2 separate species. So far, we were studying it as single species. They were 2 subspecies. We were considering them as 2 subspecies. But in April 2021, a study has found they may be a separate species. So see, officially, as per government records, they are still subspecies. Indus River dolphin and Ganges River dolphin. But recent study shows that they may be different species. So the species that is found in India, freshwater dolphin that is found in India is Ganga River dolphin, which is also called Susu. Ganga River dolphin. It's found in India, in the Ganga River, also in Nepal, in a tributary, and Bangladesh. These are the places where Ganga River dolphin is found. It's also actually found in Brahmaputra. It's also found in Brahmaputra River. Okay, now at present, there are 7 freshwater dolphins in the world. I want to cover it because all of them are now threatened. So there is Amazon River dolphin and Bolivian River dolphin. Both of them are vulnerable. Inia geoffrensis, Inia boliviensis. There is Ganges River dolphin, Indus River dolphin. Plant nest. So see, abhi bhi for IUCN, these are 2 subspecies. Platanista gangetica is Ganges River dolphin, and Platanista gangetica minor is Indus River dolphin. They are both endangered. Then there is Irrawaddy River dolphin. Please note that Irrawaddy River dolphin is not a true freshwater dolphin, because they can be found in brackish water also. We'll see most of India's Irrawaddy River dolphin is found in Odisha's brackish lakes and all. So this Irrawaddy River dolphin traverses 3 rivers, South and Southeast Asia, Irrawaddy, Mahakam, and Mekong. So they are found in rivers, but they are also found in the brackish region. So it's not a true river water dolphin. It is also endangered. So India में ये तीनों dolphin मिलेंगे आपको, Ganges, Indus, and Irrawaddy. All 3 are endangered. Then there is Yangtze finless porpoise, not exactly a dolphin. It's critically endangered. So there's a difference between dolphin and porpoise. Dolphin have longer snouts, bigger mouth, more curved dorsal fins, and longer lineal bodies than porpoises. Then there is a species called Tucuxi from Amazon and Orinoco River. It was this species which was data deficient till now. But in December 2020, it was declared endangered. And therefore, we can say that all the 7 freshwater dolphins on Earth are now threatened. All the 7 freshwater dolphins on Earth are now threatened. Understood? Now let us look at, in our subcontinent, we have 2 dolphins, Ganges and Indus. Ganges River dolphin ka there are 3,000 individuals. Indus River dolphin ka there are 1,500 individuals. Both are endangered. Both are in Wildlife Protection Act ka Schedule 1. There are some other details like where are they found. Ganges River dolphin is found in Ganga and Brahmaputra. It's also the national aquatic animal of India. This question has also been asked in examination. West Bengal got India's first river dolphin reserve in Hooghly River. National Waterway Project. We have covered National Waterway Project in the infrastructure section of economy. National Waterway Project 1 is mostly running on Ganga River. It is becoming a threat to gangetic dolphin, according to conservationists. There are some other reasons or some other problems. Habitat loss due to increased developmental work is one, but rising salinity in Sundarbans, biological resource use, जिसमें ये dolphins फंस जाते हैं, for example, fishing and harvesting, depletion of prey base. These are non-vegetarians. These are carnivorous animals. So their prey base is going down because of overfishing. That is another concern. Accident mortality in fishing nets, accidental death due to vessel propellers, invasive and other problematic species, pollution. These are all emerging as threats. But it's very important to protect gangetic dolphin because these are top predators. So अगर आप एक top level animal को हटा देते हो from any ecosystem, that ecosystem gets negatively affected, because then the lower levels population will increase drastically and it will damage the whole ecosystem. There was a conservation action plan for Ganges River dolphin 2010 to 2020. It was supposed to identify, this has identified gangetic dolphins, the various threats to gangetic dolphins, and the river traffic, irrigation canals, and depletion of prey-based dolphin population are some of the things that it has highlighted. There is Indus River dolphin, which is a subspecies for now. It is called Bhulan. It is found in Indus River in Pakistan and Beas and Satluj tributaries of the Indus River. तो यहाँ पे हम बोल रहे हैं, are Ganges and Indus River dolphin two separate species? So a recent study, which was published in Marine Mammal Science in 2021, it studied body growth, it studied skull morphology, it studied tooth count, coloration, and genetic makeup, and says that these should be considered two separate species. They diverged from each other way back in 55,000 years ago, and they have become two separate species. In fact, till 1990s they were considered two separate species, but then they started to be considered a single species or uske subspecies. But again, now studies have started showing that they may be considered separate species. So Ganges River dolphin and Indus River dolphin both are truly freshwater river dolphin. You will not find Ganges River dolphin in Sundarbans salty waters. brackish waters. You will not find it there. But there are some oceanic dolphins, which, for example, Irrawaddy River dolphin. We said no, it is not a truly freshwater dolphins. It's a euryhaline. What is euryhaline species? Euryhaline species are those species which has tolerance for various level of salt. Various level of salt level in water. So it's a euryhaline species of oceanic dolphin. It has discontinuous population near sea coast and estuaries and rivers in parts of Bay of Bengal. IUCN में it is endangered. WPA में Schedule 1 में है. In India, it is mostly found in Odisha or Sundarbans wale region में. A question on this was also asked in 2019. Irrawaddy River dolphin पे question 2019 में है. See, initially you may have thought कि यार इतने सारे species क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं, but eventually you're realizing that questions on all these things have been asked at one or the other time. Secure Himalayas पे भी question आ चुका है. Okay, so this was Irrawaddy River dolphin. Now, a dolphin census was conducted in April 2021 in Odisha. तो Odisha में कौन सा dolphin मिलेगा? Irrawaddy River dolphin and some other dolphin, but mostly oceanic dolphin. According to this census, see, last year the census was done in February 2020 and we said that dolphin population has gone down. But here we are saying that dolphin population has nearly doubled. When compared to 2020, in April 2021, we are saying that in Odisha, dolphin population has nearly doubled. In Chilka Lake, there are 188 dolphins. There were 163 in 2020. Of this 188, 162 are Irrawaddy dolphin and 26 are bottlenose dolphins. Bottlenose is another type of oceanic dolphin. In Bhitarkanika National Park, जिसमें गहीरमठ भी involved होता है, there are 342 dolphins. 39 Irrawaddy, 22 bottlenose, but 281 humpback dolphins. So 3 brackish water dolphins that you can think of right now: Irrawaddy, bottlenoses, and humpback dolphins. More Irrawaddy is in Chilka Lake. In Gahirmat Sanctuary, there is more of 281 humpback dolphins. Now you may be asking, sir, how come in 1 year population got doubled? See, these are dolphins, जो oceanic dolphins हैं. They may come to this region if the situation is good, if human disturbance is not a lot. So in this region, you'll find more dolphins. So this year when survey was done, more dolphin was found. Okay, so this was it about dolphins. Now we are continuing with marine mammals, but now we are talking about some marine mammals which are herbivorous, which eat grass. These mammals that we have talked about, be it the Ganges River dolphin, be it the Indus River dolphin, they're all fish eaters and they're carnivorous. These are herbivorous. Dugong. Dugong pe question was asked in 2012. Prelims 2012. Sea cow pe question. So dugongs are called sea cow. Why are they called sea cow? They're called sea cow because they're vegetarians. They're herbivorous. I should not use the term vegetarian. They're herbivorous. So what do they do? What do they eat? They eat the grasses which grow on the surface of ocean. It is a medium-sized one. It is vulnerable. Wildlife Protection Act में Appendix 1 में आता है, Schedule 1 में आता है. In India, very few dugongs are left. On the western coast, it's only found in Marine National Park of Gulf of Kutch. This was the first Marine National Park of India, and in Western India, it's only here that dugongs are found. On eastern side, in Gulf of Mannar and in Andaman Nicobar Island also, these dugongs are found. These dugongs are also state animals. This is a state animal of Andaman and Nicobar. Fine, dugong, sea cow. Now there's another species of dugong called manatees. These manatees are not found in India. They're found in Caribbean Sea, Gulf of Mexico, Amazon Basin, and West Africa. And they're also referred as sea cows because of the food that they eat. They're also called West Indian manatees. Caribbean, West Indies बोला जाता है उसे, so they're also called West Indian manatees. Okay, so please note that whales, dolphins, porpoises, or these manatees or dugongs, these are all what? These are all mammals. So though they live in water, they breathe oxygen, they have blowholes, they maintain constant awareness of their breathing and they are able to dispose of salt. The brackish water में जब रहते हैं, तो they're able to dispose of salt. So like other mammals, they are warm-blooded animals. They give birth to their young. They do not give eggs. They give birth to live animals. They produce milk, a very important feature of mammals. They have mammary glands. They say they produce milk and they nurse their children. Okay, there are some exceptional mammals. See, these are the features of mammals, but there are some mammals which are egg laying. Mammals should give live birth, but there are some mammals which are egg laying who are called monotremes. Monotremes are exceptions, and there are only 5 living monotremes known to us. One is duck-billed platypus, and there are 4 species of spiny anteaters, also known as echidnas. So let us look at both of these. Platypus, duck-billed platypus. Duck के जैसा इसका bill है. This is a platypus species. Where is it? It's not found in India. These are exceptional species which do not give live birth. We are covering it like that. It's a semi-aquatic animal that is found in Eastern Australia and Tasmania. The female retires in burrow, the male is poisonous. These are certain things that you should know. Okay, then echidnas, what are these? These are spiny anteaters. Look at this mammal. Look at its snout like this. Through this, it destroys the ant hole and eats ant. These are spiny anteaters. Look at its body. Ants will not be able to attack its body. So these are some things which survive on ants. So this platypus and the 4 species of these spiny anteaters. These are 5 species of mammals known to us who are still there, but do not give live birth. They give eggs. I see there are some other mammals called marsupials. Generally, we give live birth. Mammals, we are also mammals. We give live birth to our children. Marsupials also give live birth, but their children are so immature, not that well developed, that they carry them around in pockets for a longer period. Even after birth, for example, think of kangaroo. Kangaroo carry their kids in their pockets. No, it's because when they're born, they are very immature. They do not have long gestation period. Long gestation period may more development in the child would have taken place, but that doesn't happen in marsupials. They give early birth. Now early birth they dete hain, but once the children is out of the birth canal, it climbs from the mother's birth canal to the nipples. एक पैकेट अरेंज्ड होगा, वो निप्पल को सक करेंगे, वहां से न्यूट्रिशन लेते रहेंगे, and in a few days or sometimes in a few months, they become independent. So like other mammals, they are covered with hair, they nurse their kids, but they are not giving birth to like matured mammals who can survive at their own, who can survive without the mothers. So there are some examples of mammals, marsupials. One is kangaroo. You all know about kangaroos. I'm not getting into details. In fact, there's an interesting thing about kangaroos you should know. It is only wild large mammal of Australia. In Australia, like look at Africa, look at Asia, look at Americas. Here you will find large number of large mammals. Tiger, lion, elephant, rhino, hippo. There are so many large mammals. Whereas in Australia, we have only one, kangaroo. We have only one large mammal in Australia. There's an interesting story behind it. Why is this so? It's because in Africa and Asia, the animals, they evolved with humans. As humans are becoming more intelligent, animals were, when humans were not very intelligent, even then animals were there. But as humans were becoming more intelligent, their hunting skills were improving. Animals were seeing them slowly. And thus they understood that these are dangerous creatures. Humans are dangerous creatures. Let us stay away from them. But in Australian continent, humans reached much later. When humans reached, they were already advanced hunters, but they looked very small. तो जो वहां के बड़े mammals थे, when they looked at humans, अरे टुच्चू मुच्चू लोग क्या करेंगे? They did not run away, and they got hunted easily. So over the years, what happened? All their animals, big mammals, were hunted, were destroyed by humans. Kangaroo was the only one which is left there. So sometimes you should yourself think, why in Australia we have only one large mammal? Why Australian tiger, Australian lion, or those things are not considered? Even in America, you will see that there are less number of large mammals when compared to Africa or Asia, because even on American continent, humans reached much later, around 20,000 years ago or so. Humans reached there much later. But in Asia, in Africa, humans evolved here. Right? तो अब यूएस में आपकी एंट्री रोके तो आप बोल देना अबे humans have all come from Asia or Africa. Do not stop our entry. Fine. So kangaroo is one of the marsupials. ऐसे ही koalas are another marsupials. There are various species and all, but koalas specifically were in news because during the Australian bushfire, a large number of koalas were killed. And therefore, it was being demanded that from vulnerable, move them to endangered list. But the IUCN has kept them in vulnerable only. These are also marsupials. These are vulnerable. Yeah, again, India mein nahi hai. We're talking about Australia now. Then there's an extinct species called thylacine or Tasmanian tiger or Tasmanian wolf. It is extinct. See, it is extinct. But the Tasmanian government in 2019 have released a document which reports 8 sightings of Tasmanian tiger from across the continent in past 3 years. Now, there is no picture sighting. Some people say, oh, I saw that tiger there, Tasmanian tiger there. It's still not proved. Else, from extinct, we may have brought them to critically endangered. They're still extinct for us. Then comes Tasmanian devil. This species, Tasmanian devil. So till recently, it was only found in Tasmania, island state of Tasmania. But it has now been reintroduced in Australia. In Australia, in wild, after 3,000 years, 7 babies were born in May 2021. In May 2021, Tasmanian devil ka, not in the zoo, not in the breeding centers, in wild, 7 babies were born. And therefore, it became a big news. 2-3 days back, it was a huge news. So Tasmanian devil is a marsupial. Earlier, it was only found in Tasmania. In fact, before everything, it was found in Australia also. But then humans came and they destroyed everything and whatnot. Plus, they especially were damaged a lot by wild Australian dogs called dingoes. This pronunciation may be different. But now, from breeding centers or so, it has been left in wild. In wild also, they have been left in what is called wildlife preserve. Not in complete wild, they are in wildlife preserve where they are taken care of. They are analyzed, they are looked into, they are tracked. So there they have given birth to 6 of these things. There are some other marsupials. For example, there is wallabies, there are possums, there are opossums, there are wombats. These are all marsupials who give birth to children who are very immature, and then they are kept in the pocket for longer periods. Okay, there's a few more things about Tasmanian devil or these marsupials I would want to talk about. A few years back in 2016, a news article was there which said that the milk of Tasmanian devil has a number of components which can even kill those bacteria which have become antibacterial resistance, antimicrobial resistance. Milk of Tasmanian devil. It was because why milk of Tasmanian devils have those components? It is because when Tasmanian devils or all these marsupials, when they keep their kids in the pocket that they have, it's very dirty. Kids piss there, they excrete there. It's a very dirty environment in which the kids live. But even those kids, they're having this milk from the mother and they're able to survive that dirty environment. So number of bacteria would be there, but these milk contains those antibacterial properties which can deal with those bacteria. So study was published about the milk of Tasmanian devil, and more research when done on marsupials may give us various components which can ensure better fight against antimicrobial resistance. Okay, one last thing I would like to talk about humans. You would see an interesting thing in humans. Have you seen a cow giving birth or a buffalo giving birth? If you've seen a cow giving birth, a buffalo giving birth, you'll see that the child there is able to stand very quickly, either then and there or within a few days. A calf of buffalo, a calf of cow is able to stand. So it is much more developed than humans. हमें 1-2 साल लग जाते हैं to stand, even like to walk properly and all. Sometimes we can even take 3 years, right? When we start walking properly. Why does it happen? Usme one of the key reasons is, as humans evolved, and as humans from 4 legs came to 2 legs. In that period, the size of their birth canal reduced. Think of it. When we stand up, when an animal is in incline, when the animal stands up, the size of the birth canal reduces. So when the size of birth canal reduces, if the children are very matured, their head is large, when they'll be coming out, mothers will die, the child may also die. So over the years, while we were evolving to stand up, we were also evolving to give birth to children who are less evolved. Less evolved की जगह less matured. And thus, we give birth to children who are less matured, who take more time to eventually grow, eventually become mature. Okay, so this was for today. Tomorrow we'll talk about birds. So we'll talk about apes, we'll talk about reptiles, we'll talk about fishes. So animal biodiversity से related butterflies and all those things, butterflies, reptiles में snakes and tortoise and turtles and all those things we would be covering tomorrow. Then from next class after tomorrow, we'll move on to plant biodiversity. Animal biodiversity, I'll try to finish tomorrow itself. Okay, so this was it for today, guys. Let me see if there are doubts, if there are any doubts. Yes, there are some doubts. Praveen is typing, sir, other than national parks, is it important to remember the areas also? कुछ भी बीच में पूछने लगता है, जब national park पढ़ेंगे तो बताएंगे ये. Manita is asking, sir, manatee is also a herbivore mammal. Yes, it is herbivore. तभी तो उसे भी cow बोल रहे हैं. Manita manatee के बारे में पूछ रही है. अच्छा है. Divyansh Singh, thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, Divyansh. You're welcome, Divyansh. Chalo, thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Thank you, sir.